Welcome to the Karpfucius Says Podcast, the show where we talk about anything and everything related to living a more purposeful and empowered life. I am your host, Michael Karp, aka Karpfucius. All right, welcome to episode number 7 of the Karpfucius Says Podcast. Starting to get into a little rhythm here. I'm thinking 3 episodes a week, 2 episodes a week, something like that. I think that could work out pretty well. So today we are talking about a subject that is, it's important. And it's something that I've experienced and that I've dealt with as an entrepreneur, but it's something that everybody who works deals with this, especially if you are working in a corporate job or you are an entrepreneur, right? Or you are someone who is very driven, ambitious, and you're trying to make your goals and your dreams happen, right? Or you're trying to advance in your career, right? So the title of today's podcast is Why No Business or Job is Worth Sacrificing Your Health. And this is such an important subject because a lot of us do this. A lot of us do put so much into our business and so much of our energy and time into our business that sometimes we do sacrifice our health. And sometimes this happens with a job too. People put so much of their energy into their job, into advancing in their career, that they sacrifice their health. And what gets sacrificed, right? What aspects of health? Could be physically, right? I experienced this and I'll tell the story in a little bit. It could be mentally through stress, and it could be emotionally through a bunch of different ways, right? So for me, my experience with this started literally within the first few months of me starting my business in 2014. I was super inspired and I had so much energy and I was just so excited, and I worked a lot. I worked, morning till night, basically, working on getting my business going. And I was a solo entrepreneur. I was trying to figure things out, and I was just working my ass off, right? And what happened was, I ended up working so much, especially on a specific project, that I messed up the tendons in my forearms. A lot of people thought it was carpal tunnel, but it wasn't. It was actually tendonitis, right? And this is something that happened within the first 4 or 5 months of me starting my business. I literally dealt with this for 6 years after that point, right? I got so out of balance with my work that I messed up an important part of my body. I work online, right? I was a digital marketer, right? And being on the computer is essential. You cannot do that work without it. You cannot do that work without your hands and your forearms. And I messed my forearms up. And people who are close to me know this. I dealt with this for years, and I used to wear these arm braces and stuff, and it made it much more of a challenge to do my work on a daily basis, because I was out of balance for 4 months, right? I was out of balance for 4 months, and that messed me up for 6 years. That alone, you can see that is not worth it. right? It is not worth getting so out of balance because of your work that it messes up your body for years, right? And like, with what I've learned now, right, I healed myself, okay? Like, I went to the doctor, and the doctor just gave me pain pills, right? So the doctor couldn't really, and I looked it up online, how do you do this, how do you deal with this, and all I found was Band-Aid solutions, but not real deep healing solutions. Eventually, I did deeply heal myself over the last 2 to 3 years. Through meditation and understanding how the mind-body connection works, I experienced real healing, like real deep healing. I can use my computer as much as I want now. And before, I used to have to limit it. I could only work for like 20 minutes at a time. And if I worked for 45 minutes, my arms would be messed up and I would have to take a super long break in order to work again. And that isn't the case anymore, right? And I learned my lesson. Balance. Balance, balance, balance. It is not worth it, right? Even if I'm super excited, I love my work, I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm doing something that's really meaningful to me, I still need to do it in a balanced way that does not sacrifice one of my greatest assets, which is my health. Without my health, I can't work, right? So there's no point in working, sacrificing that, and then not being able to work or not being able to do what I want to do as effectively. And this happens to a lot of people. It happens especially to entrepreneurs who put a lot of pressure on themselves. Maybe they have employees now that they have to think about, or they have investors that they have to think about, and they put all this pressure on themselves, and they think the variable of success is the amount of work they put in. And yes, it is one of the variables, but it's not the only one, right? And it's the same with people who are very driven in their career, right, and want to advance, and to do that, they work like crazy, right? And sacrifice exercise, they sacrifice eating healthily, they're taking in a lot more like caffeine and coffee and energy drinks, and trying to kind of creating these less than ideal replacements for healthier aspects of a healthy lifestyle. And the core message here is it just isn't worth it, because sometimes it literally stops you in your tracks completely, and you would have gotten much further if you just slowed down a little bit, right? And you would have, maybe you would have like even accomplished what you want to accomplish faster if you slow down now, right? If you take some time to invest in your health and invest in your emotional well-being and your mental well-being, these things make you a more effective like individual, no matter what you're doing. These things contribute to your work. Your health contributes to your work. So if you're someone who is really invested in what they're doing, and your work is like really important to you, understand that taking care of your health really, really helps your work, right? If you're trying to build a business and it matters a lot to you, taking care of your health helps you build that business, right? And you pushing yourself and pushing yourself and pushing yourself to a breaking point can literally take all the stuff that you've done and put it to a massive halt, because your body will tell you, hey, you gotta stop. In fact, it won't just tell you, it'll tell you for a while, and then it will make you. And then you won't have a choice, because you will have to stop, because you have sacrificed your health too much and you haven't taken care of your well-being. It's just not worth it, right? And it's not just that it's not worth it, it's also less effective, right? You can many times accomplish what you want faster and more effectively if you take care of yourself. And sometimes you don't learn this lesson until you have learned the other side of it, right? Until you've experienced messing up your health, and then your goals and dreams take longer than they would have if you hadn't been so aggressive in how you were approaching your goals and dreams, like me, right? Like after I messed up my forearms, I couldn't work as much, right? I couldn't work as effectively, and I couldn't get as many of the things done that I wanted to, right? And it not only messed up my work, but like I couldn't even use my phone as much, right? I couldn't even like talk to my friends as much. I couldn't even like connect with people long distance as much. And you know, that's an issue. All because I worked too hard in too short amount of time, and I was too aggressive in how I approached my work, and I was too out of balance. So it doesn't matter whether you love your business or your job, or you don't love your business or your job. It's never worth sacrificing your health for it, because it tends to even mess up the business, it can mess up the job or the career, and it can mess up other areas of your life. You need your health. Like, you need to invest in that. There is no other option, right? There is no like, oh, I'll do it later. There comes a point where if you don't invest in it, your body makes you. That alone is like, okay, I need to take care of this so that I don't have to pay for this later on. And your health, the better your health, the better the rest of your life will be. Every area of our lives is connected. So when one goes up, the rest go up as well. Maybe not as high as the one that has just increased, but because your whole life is really one thing that we've compartmentalized, it's all connected. So when you improve your health, you improve your work. When you improve your health, you improve your relationships. When you improve your health, you improve your spiritual life. When you improve your health, you improve like everything, because health is a factor in literally every aspect of your life. So it's not worth it to sacrifice your health. It is worth it to invest in it and develop some habits that you enjoy, right? Like I enjoy going for walks. I go for like 2 or 3 walks a day. It's a nice healthy habit, and it makes me feel good. It gives me a break from work. Like I look at other things, I get some sunlight and some air, and it's just a really nice balanced habit for me. Try to figure out they don't have to be big things. Going for a walk is not a huge deal, right? But it is an important, balanced, healthy habit, right? Try to find some of these sorts of things for yourself. Some of these little habits and health practices that can instill a bit more balance into the way you are living your life. Because it can benefit basically everything, and it's just so important that, like, I've learned that lesson. I've been on a healing journey for the last 3 years. Like, I've messed up my body more than once. I only told you one thing. Like, I've messed up my body like a lot, because of getting out of balance with things, and because of especially getting out of balance in pursuit of my goals and my dreams. Like, I've done it. Like, I've fucked up my body, okay? Like, to the point of I couldn't do anything, really. And I had to reclaim my health almost from the ground up, emotionally, physically, like it was deep. And the journey isn't even complete yet, but I'm far enough along now to where I basically have my life back. But I had to get my life back because I got so out of balance with things. And I'm telling you, even though I appreciate this journey I've been on, and I've learned so much, I've empowered myself so much, this journey is like, this healing journey I've been on is really important to me. And I understand the significance of it in terms of my overall life experience and who I am becoming. In terms of just whether or not it's worth it, in terms of like your work and like being able to just be able to live your life, it's not worth it to get super out of balance in this way. I've been there. It's tough. But also understand that even if you do mess up your health, that we can heal ourselves. Like, I learned through this experience that the body can regenerate itself. So don't have any fears about your health or fears or worries about like messing things up. Just take care of yourself, okay? But know that if something does happen, you have the power to heal yourself, and it's not actually as big of a deal as we sometimes make it out to be. In my journey, I heard lots of other people's stories of how they healed themselves, and they healed themselves from crazy stuff. Like 7 different ailments this person had, and like she healed herself in a year and a half completely to perfect health. So like, we have these powers within us, and sometimes you get to a place in your life where you have to learn how to tap into it. But in terms of the average life, right, where you just kind of want to be satisfied and enjoy yourself and be healthy and well and have a nice, well-rounded, balanced life, it's important to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself really, really does help you in every other desire or goal or whatever it is that you want in your life. It helps with all of that stuff. So, to summarize, no business or job is worth sacrificing your health or your happiness for that matter. Take care of yourself, pay attention to your balance, pay attention to your work-life balance especially, and don't have any fears about your health or anything like that, because you can heal yourself. Alright, thank you so much for listening to episode number 7 of the Karpfucius Says Podcast. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I'm in the process of creating a life purpose course to help people figure out what their life purposes are, define it with clarity, and make a plan to follow them, even if you're totally lost, right? If this is something that interests you or something that you think you could benefit from, stay tuned, because I will announce it here on the podcast when it is ready. As always, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.